Hello, everybody. Today I have a few things going on. I'm going to rehouse a couple of wolf spiders and also review these ReptiZoo enclosures because I've been using these for all of my adult spiders. Um, and also, I have a kind of a treat of a parasite that's pretty rare that I got to deal with and learn about firsthand about a month ago. So I guess I will start with these enclosures. These are the ReptiZoo. Uh, this is the 8 by 8 by 11 um, with the opening on the top. It's the 8 by 8 by 11 front opening, and it has hatches as well on the top. The top does not come off like the Exoterra, but the tops on these are the stamped mesh already, so that is a plus that you won't have tarantulas possibly getting their toes stuck in the screen mesh. This is the 8 by 8 by 8 cube, my Obi tree that I made here. And the only thing that I don't like about actually all of them is the doors. These ones, you can't really do it with two hands. You got to bring this down. I mean, you can't really do it with one hand without really finagling it. And the doors are kind of sticky on all of them so far that I've gotten as they open. But other than that, I like the price point. This one I made specifically to have the opening hatch into the tree. This OBT really likes to live arborally. Here, I'll pause it and show you what it looks like in the tree. I get a kick out of this tree. It is really webbed up, and it made a hammock, just like an avic up here, and a double entrance burrow like it does. It's only about a 2-inch spider, so I don't think it's felt the need to leave its little tree yet. Anyway, and then the top lids, they're just crunchy. It's really hard not to scare your spider. I've got an example right now. So here's my carolinensis, happily wondering what the heck I'm doing, probably. I do like the feeder flap that comes on all these. This is the 8 by 8 by 11. This is the 8 by 8 by 8 cube that I'm going to put the Hogna antelucana in. I do like the feeding hatch. The problem is with opening these, it's pretty loud. I'm gonna try. Will you let me? I'm just gonna open it. You gotta lift it up. Did you hear that? Good Lord. And then you gotta slide it. And when you slide it, it catches on lots of stuff. So you almost have to put your hand underneath and push it up as you slide it. Open. And have I succeeded? Have I succeeded? Kind of. Anyway, that's those. And then the hatches back here on them, they're not too bad. You just got to pinch them with 2 fingers and pull them out. Make sure you have the small hole in the hole. Otherwise, a pretty good sized spider can get out of that. Or prey item if it makes it up there. Okay. On to the rehouses, I guess. So I've got the 8 by 8 cube. Where'd you go? This is my Hogna antelucana female. Wild caught. The neighbor brought her to me in like October. She's had 2 egg sacs in here and eaten them both. I let her have sunshine for this last one for part of the day, and she seemed to really like sunning her egg sac, but there's not enough substrate in here. It was a constant battle to keep moisture in here. She at one point made this little burrow, took all the sphagnum moss, made this little turret out of it, and dunked it in the water dish. Like, it is way too dry in here, brother. So, we're going to try again in here. We're going to keep it nice and moist. This is the starter burrows that I use for a wolf spider that does the turrets, when I'm trying to get the turrets. This one might even be too big around. But this substrate is Coast of Maine organic potting soil, and it seems to work really well. It has these little springtails in it, and they can't take it very dry, but as soon as they seem to just sprout right up when you get some moisture in there. I packed it down every cup of soil I dumped in. Got some moisture in here. And the burrow itself I made with a paintbrush, and I packed it down on the sides really hard, because that's the kind of burrow they live in. I just rolled it around, and if you've seen them in the wild, you can kind of get a estimate of how big of a burrow they would live in the wild, and I just try to kind of duplicate that. So she's been displaying the burrowing and the turret. She made one in the corner and dug it up. And I have another Hogna antelucana down here that I think is a male here. So maybe we could for sure get a good pairing. I'd like her to molt because she's wild caught, and we have some weird parasites around here, which I'm going to get into in a minute. But let me just pause this again, get her in a catch cup or something, because I don't have 3 hands. So I've got her in a catch cup. She took a nip at the paintbrush right away. And she's gone into her position there. Poor spider smashed in the corner. Oh, you're such a sweetie. Oh, you're treated so bad around here. Alright, so I'm just going to dump her in here, and she shouldn't be able to get out of the glass. Come on. What a beautiful spider. A lot more interesting than the carolinensis, especially the carapace patterns and the abdominal patterns. Not as big, but we don't know. We might get a molt out of her. Yeah, pretty spider. There we go. Look at that spider. Okay, so I'm going to pause it again and get this other wolf spider and the Wasp Mandid-fly out. Okay, excuse me. This is my unidentified female small wolf spider. She's not very large. Her leg span is maybe a little over an inch. She's very sweet. She's very curious. She doesn't like to be handled, but she hasn't nipped like the antelucana and probably the carolinensis would do. At first, I thought she was Hogna frondicola. She is not Hogna frondicola, unless that's not true that they have a black ventral, because this spider does not have a black ventral. Anyway, she was wild caught outside and gravid, and she had an egg sac, so I moved her in here so I could raise babies in here. She was in a burrow right here, back in this corner. And here's the molt. So one day I come in here, it's about time for her egg sac to hatch, and I see these little sloughs from the eggs laying all over here. So I come over and I take off the lid of the enclosure, and much to my surprise, sitting on the lid of the enclosure is this. This is I have it written on the front of her thing here. Climaciella brunnea. A Wasp Mandid-fly. Crazy looking thing. It's frozen. It's a parasitic insect that lays its eggs on the grass, and the eggs hatch, and the larvae wait for a wolf spider to pass by. Usually a wolf spider. And this little guy, not this one, but the nymphs, attach to the wolf spider parasitically, and then they wait for the spider to lay an egg sac. And when they do, when it does, they crawl off of it into the egg sac and eat the entire thing. Then they hatch out, and they mimic a paper wasp really well. Look how the dark part, when you first look at them, the dark part of the wing is all you see, and it looks just like a wasp. Which is no wonder this tiny little spider didn't know what to do when it hatched out of her egg sac. Anyway, never heard of anything like it. It looks like a mantis for sure, and it probably would have eaten her in short order if I didn't get it out of there. Anyways, so I'm going to give her a rehouse into this. Same deal, I made a little hole. She hasn't shown any kind of desire or propensity to make a turret or anything like that, but I'm going to give her some bark to get under and some decent amount of substrate too, and put her in here. And you've already seen her, so I guess give you another look at her just casually exploring. Not a care in the world. I wish I knew what she was, and I wish I had some babies. But I'll keep looking around out there. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe, hit the bell if you want to see all my posts, and have a great rest of the weekend.